good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Steve Rogenstein. I'm Honeybee Watch's project director and your host today. And I'm joined by my colleague, Arrigo Moro, who is Honeybee Watch's science director. Today is the second of our four events in the 2026 Symposia series, now in our fourth year. And we'll learn about a style of beekeeping that dates back millennia and which for today's beekeepers might seem kind of exotic and for others might feel very typical. So I'm just going to start briefly with an introduction to Honeybee Watch for anybody who's not familiar with us. We are an international coalition tasked with better understanding how free-living honeybees survive with little to no human intervention. And by free-living, we mean bees that have chosen where they want to live, whether that be in trees, in log hives, buildings, holes in the ground, wherever. And our aim is to develop nature-based solutions to lower the mortality rates of managed colonies, increase beekeeping sustainability, and ultimately protect threatened wild populations around the world. In our 6 years, we've located more than 2,000 nest sites on 5 continents, mostly found by our research partners and by citizen scientists, perhaps like you. And if you'd like to participate and you know of any free-living colonies, we encourage you to go onto our reporting platform and enter your information and then tell us a little bit about where these nests are located and a couple characteristics about them. What we've also added to this is a monitoring program, and we encourage people who have identified where there are free-living colonies to visit them 4 times a year, observe them at the entrance, and take down some notes as to their survival and other kind of activities. Some other things that we've done at Honeybee Watch, we assembled a task force of experts to reassess the IUCN Red List status of wild Apis mellifera in Europe, which concluded last year with the new designation of endangered. We're also part of a Biodiversa Plus research study called Free Bee, and we are extensively studying free-living colonies in France, Ireland, Poland, Portugal, and Sweden. And you can learn more about that on our website. And both Free Bee and the IUCN work that we did were featured in the past with Symposia, and we recorded those and uploaded those videos onto our resources webpage, which you can view at your leisure. And that is where we have various papers and articles, links to websites, others videos, and all of the speakers from the past from our Symposia series. So if you want to browse that resources webpage, it's a great place to learn more about free-living colonies, about our research, about other people's research, about tree beekeeping, and more. And then lastly, we have a YouTube channel where you can find all of our videos. And if you haven't already, you can follow us on Instagram. So that's kind of the peanut-sized nutshell of Honeybee Watch. So what I'd like to do is dive right into today's program, which is titled Tree Beekeeping from Around the World. For many, tree beekeeping is an exotic style of apiculture, whereas for others, it's super common. And for those unfamiliar with it, in general, it's where bees have been living in natural tree cavities or are housed within human-made hollows, whether that's carved out of a live tree or in logs or sculpted out of other materials and then hung in trees. There's a wide array of hive types and management styles within the field of arboreal apiculture, and we wanted to highlight that diversity. So you'll see some of that variety today. We have 4 guests who are going to be sharing their tree beekeeping journeys and stories from the country Georgia, from Ghana, Poland, and Zimbabwe. And what we'll also hear are the unique characteristics of tree beekeeping from a historical, cultural, and practical perspective, and the similarities too between these 4 different countries. And we hope that their stories will inspire you as it has us. And so I would like to begin. So that takes us to our next and last speaker, Piotr from Poland, whom I met in 2019 when producing a Learning from the Bees conference in Berlin, and he was teaching people how to make log hives. He's got quite the story to share, from preserving and spreading tree beekeeping in Poland and beyond to opening a museum dedicated to the craft, which I believe he will share with us. So if you could unmute yourself, I see you're all ready. I will give you 14 minutes on the clock.
Okay, do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hello there. Thank you for those interesting presentations before me. My name is Piotr Piłasiewicz. I'm tree beekeeper, founder of the Tree Beekeeping Brotherhood, in Polish Bractwo Bartne. Professionally, I'm mead maker, so I convert honey into the alcohol at Augustów Meadery. The story of the meadery is really connected with what we did with the Brotherhood, but let's focus here on the tree beekeeping. Our location is Augustów. This is a small town in the northern eastern part of Poland, close to Lithuanian and Belarus border. Together with the meadery, so with my business I ran from 2017, we dedicate some space in our building to host the Tree Beekeeping Culture Museum, which is located in the same building. Going back to the Brotherhood, it was established in 2013 as an informal group. In 2015, we get the inscription to the register of the NGOs in Poland. So last year we had our 10th anniversary of the organization. We are the group of 28 people from Poland and Belarus. The formal condition to join us is to have and run at least one log hive or tree hive in the wood. We operate mostly in the Augustów forest, which will be also part of my presentation further. And till 2020, we did quite a lot of projects with our friends from Belarus. But after the false election and the tighten up of the regime in Belarus, we didn't came back there after 2020. Many of the people who did the tree beekeeping there also left Belarus that time, but not all of them. Some of them stay and still doing their job. In 2020, also, we managed to inscript tree beekeeping on the World Intangible Cultural Heritage List of UNESCO. That was the second Polish tradition and the first international that was put on this list from Poland. So you probably know this picture because you are here on this seminar. So it's a cave painting dated at least 8,000 years ago from Valencia, Spain. And what it shows a person about 17 meters above the ground extracting honey from a probably natural cavity in the wood. Some researcher says that this is a presentation of the woman because of the very thick hips on the picture, but it's more likely some simple tool of leživo that is being used on this cave painting, because the person on the left is not attached by anything to the tree. It's sitting on something, obviously, with the legs spotted on the tree. On the right, on the middle, there is a photo from the beginning of the 20th century from modern Belarus, from the Grodno forest. And on the right, there is Bartek Molasy from our brotherhood, who is also attending this seminar. So, so let's say hi to Bartek. So it also wasn't told in the previous presentations. So we have a natural living colony, which in Polish we called świepiot. This is the colony that occupied the natural cavity, either made by the birds, either made naturally by rotting wood from inside. And we are forgetting that this is natural environment for the honeybee. The honeybee lives on this planet more than 120 million years, and for the whole time on this planet, they searching for such spots to reproduce and to start to build the nesting sites. What we do in tree beekeeping is we observe the nature and we trying to adopt ourselves to the nature. So we're creating the spots for the bees, like the tree hives made direct in the trunk of the tree, or in the log that are lately put back on the tree, because we know it's like with the bird box. Look, if you put the bird box on the wrong height for the specific bird, it will not fly and it will not set in that bird box. If you put it high enough and in the right spot on the sun, on the small middle between the woods, then you have at least chance that some thorns will come in and occupy the hives. But of course, it's not 100% accuracy with that. Also, kind of the tree beekeeping is building a platform. And I also noticed from the previous presentation that that in Ghana you were putting at least maximum 3 hives on one tree, which we observed that if you put more than 3, there's never a chance to have bees in all 4 of them. Sometimes it happens to have 3 natural occupation in the platform like this with the 3 hives on one platform, but usually 2 are occupied and 1 is empty. The bees naturally don't like to have competitors also, and the environment that we're creating for them in the apiaries are not something natural they will choose. The main tools that we also making in our brotherhood and use for carving the tree hive is Spiesia. Here you can have an example based on the original artifact that was founded in our forest. Also, we can see few pictures of such tool in the books from the beginning of the 20th century. We have 2 blacksmiths that cooperate with our organization that are making these tools for us. So if you will be also interested to acquire, please contact us. We have them in our offer. We mentioned about the museum, which we run in our midry. Right now it's 2 rooms. Everything is about 150 square meters. We managed to get some financing from European Union in the Polish-Lithuanian Interreg program to extend our museum and prepare the exhibition from the beginning. Steve was on the opening at the end of April. What we also managed to fill in this museum is 2 the oldest tree hives founded in Poland, 2 cavities in the dark oaks dated back for 1,500 years ago and 1,350 years ago. So coming from the 5th and from the 7th century. This is the one on the left, and this one. This is our sarcophag. We call it sarcophag because this tree preserve also to our time the complete the complete conservated bee colony dated back for the year 680 AD, with honey, with wax, with the dead bees. And I think for the further seminars, you should invite either Bartek, either Michał to tell you more about this finding, because all the biological material, except few pieces that are on our exhibition to be seen in Augustów, are in disposition of Bartek and Michał Kolasa team from National Polish Research Institute in Krakow, and they doing quite a lot of interesting examinations of about this finding. They're waiting with the big article for that, with cross-examination the samples of the dating of the wood and of the bees itself. But for me, what's most important from this finding, that something that we do as basing on the last artifacts from the 19th century and basing on the knowledge of the last tree beekeepers from Belarus, from Lithuania, from Poland. If we go back 1,500 years ago, it's completely the same. So the size of the cavities that were made, the construction of this. On the middle picture, you can see the leftover of the something we called ochkas. So the side entry for the bees, limited with the stick that limited the space for the entry. The covering desk, which is a bit narrowing to inside, which was pushed inside the cavity by the growing of the tree with time. It was really amazing to find it. Also, this finding was discovered about 700 kilometers from Augustów, on the southern eastern part of Poland, close to Ukrainian border. But what's important, morphologically, is the same species that we still have in Augustów forest, because Augustów forest have one of only two close breeding territories of the Apis mellifera Augustów line, so of the European dark bee, which was one of the most popular bee species in the whole Europe and present everywhere north from the Ukrainian steppes and from Carpathia and Alps mountain up to Pyrenees. This territory was occupied only by the Apis mellifera. And also our finding confirmed that, because it's a southern hills of the Carpathia mountain, and the bees from this hive are 100% Apis mellifera, which is very interesting. Right now, the most popular bee in Poland is of course buckfast, but we have those two small breeding closed territory. One, it's in Augustów forest where we are located. The second is located close to Warsaw in Campinos National Park. But in our forest, this local bee that was present here from the last glacier period are still findable, and they are still there. Our tree hives, which we carved and make in Augustów forest, in 70% are occupied by the not 100% pure, but with the most characteristic of the Apis mellifera. So this bee is still present. Okay, this is location of Augustów, as you see, very close to Belarus and Lithuanian forests. Lithuanians side are also preparing the close breeding territory for the European dark bee, which will be almost connecting with our wood. So with time, there will be quite a big part of a land that where beekeepers, and not only tree beekeepers, but also regular beekeepers, will be obliged just to work with the European dark bee, which is very exciting. So,
Piotr, you have 1 minute left.
1 minute. Okay, I'm two slides to the end. This is the bees in our hives. As you can see, they are darker. Also, they build the combs as they like and as they need it for the ventilation and for the communications inside. There's really no rule that they will be vertical or in other sides to the entry. Our main event that we do as the organization is the Tree Beekeeping Festival at the beginning of September. This year it's connected also with the meat competition KMP Bartnik. So if you are interested in the beginning of September, it's a very nice time to visit us. Also commercially, we try to connect our work with the tree beekeeping and with the meat. And we presented this year something which is called Signum meat. This is a meat made 100% of the tree beekeeping honey. We were collecting tree beekeeping honey for 2 years in 2019 and 2020, and released 300 bottles of the premium quality meat based only on the tree beekeeping honey. In our regions, we can collect 2 up to 3 kilograms from one tree hive. Our friends from Belarus or from Ukraine, they can collect about 6 to 8 kilograms, but not more, once per year from one hive. So to grab and collect enough honey for this project was really challenging. We are planning to repeat the batch every 5 years only. Okay, for question, I think we will have the session. Here's my contact details and the contact website for the organization. The Tree Beekeeping Brotherhood is a foundation, so we also work based on the donation and support from our fans, our friends. So don't hesitate to do that or support our work by visiting us or buying our meats. Why not? Thank you.
So thank you for that presentation. And